There's nothing new to be shown. I just have to make it. My name is Assandre Jean-Baptiste, also go by Huey Dynamite. I'm a fine arts painter, storyteller, son, brother, and all around good-natured black man. I was thinking of a name or an alias that would feel more like an alter ego of myself. The reason why I wasn't so ready to share my work is because I was a little bit fearful of the reception I gained, because I hadn't gone to art school, so I wasn't hardened by critiques or things of the nature. Oftentimes people will look at work and immediately say, oh, that's great, oh, that's nice. But when you're actually deciding to do something with a vision or a series of work with a story, it's a little bit more close to the heart. So obviously my sensitivity was up, right? And so I figured if I came up with a name, perspective-wise, I can switch into that mode. As long as I said the name, it was easier to say, all right, I'm this guy right now, so there's nothing to worry about. And so Huey Dynamite came together because some of my favorite shows growing up was The Boondocks and Black Dynamite. So I just took Huey and Dynamite together and just made it seem as if it was like a rock star name. And that's when it clicked. As soon as it felt like that's a rock star name, okay, this is the guy I can be whenever I'm in environments that I'm unfamiliar with, especially when it came to exhibitions that I was showing my work, because it was a whole new world where I'm meeting people, I'm meeting other artists. And it always seemed like they already had their mission in mind, right? And they already had something to say. I didn't. And so when I walked in as Huey Dynamite, I could be, yeah, I'm just rocking with the color. I could say whatever, right? Because this is my work. And Huey Dynamite painted this. Assandre Jean-Baptiste is the person behind it all. He's backstage working all the things that people don't see, and he's fine with that. But Huey Dynamite can be on the forefront, and he could say to your face that this is my passion and will forever be. And somewhere down the line, I think the two have merged in a way. When I was young and had a cousin who had brought over a Dragon Ball Z manga, and he was doing comics himself, and he would add afros to Goku and Krillin. And I thought to myself, okay, yeah, I want to do that as a young child. I was maybe 6 or 7. And so I do that in school so often, it just became natural to the idea, okay, yeah, I'm going to become an artist. However, it wasn't until college that I really saw for myself a future in it. It was through peer pressure from my friends who told me, you should show your work, right? You can start with social media or however you'd want to really show your work, but you have to get out there and you have to stand with your work. It wasn't until then that I decided, okay, let me actually gain some knowledge on the craft, right? This is when it no longer became a hobby, but an actual practice. That moment when I decided, yes, I'm going to become an artist, or yes, I'm going to do this creative path in life. I'm going to go as far as I can and never stop. I think that's when I became an artist, truly. As much as I'm putting into the work from experience, from what I've learned through books, movies, TV shows, things of that nature, having my knowledge, about color theory, about composition. However, It's those times in between when you take a break and you're looking at the piece and it's already kind of forming itself. It feels more like a conversation whenever I'm working on something, because it can change at any moment, at any given notice. I can have that final idea in my head, but a few minutes later, the piece could make it, hey, that's not a really good idea, just by the slightest degree and stroke when it comes to adding some paint onto the canvas, or the color. A tone could be cool or dramatic, and then I have an outing one day with friends, and then all of a sudden I feel as if the piece needs to have a little bit more sunlight. I'd gone to the Crow Museum, which is the Asian American Museum in Dallas, and I had seen an exhibition describing the Hindu gods like Vishnu and Shiva, and I saw they had multiple arms. Then that idea crept in my mind of how to translate that image into my work for some odd reason, right? Then I had gone through a series of just drawing limbs, regular practices, but then I'd focus more on just seeing what gestures made more sense to me and seeing how I can create a flow. With that, I was able to translate the idea of everything is everything, because now in my work, I can add in these multiple limbs and have them performing a gesture or action that coincides with each and every other limb. And so there's a flow created. Whether it's more shown as a concept or just a moment in time, each limb has meaning and each limb is meant to be there for a reason. And so I want the work to be viewed several times. I want somebody to go up and ask themselves first, why are there so many limbs? Like, why do they look like a spider? Why do they look like a freak? Or whatever, right? But then they take a second look and they say, okay, that hand is doing something I didn't think it was doing before. And then they go for their third viewing. Oh, I didn't see that hand before. And they go for a fourth and fifth, hopefully, and they see, oh, wait, it looks like they're forming a pattern. Oh, it looks like they're kind of doing steps. So this hand is step one, this second hand is step two, and so on and so forth. And so whenever each and every concept I decide to work on, I always keep in mind, everything is everything. Everything has a reason, and there's nothing new to be shown. I just have to make it. So yeah, that's Huey Dynamite. Soon to be household name.